From Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up next, the 118th Congress is back in session this afternoon after an historic election for House Speaker.
Plus, a Nebraska senator is introducing a bill to cap the cost of insulin. But first,
they're not slaves, they're humans, and they should be paid a fair wage.
Legislation on Nebraska prison reform was introduced today. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us.
Today, several new bills were introduced to the Nebraska legislature, including LB 163, a prison reform bill. Channel 8's Matthew Mitleiter has details in our top story tonight.
Introduced by Senator McKinney of Omaha, LB 163 would provide a number of reforms to jails and prisons, including more protections for prisoners. This would include stopping prisons from copying the mail of people who are incarcerated and raising the pay of people working in prison.
We have to make sure that if the state is taking on the responsibility of housing them, that we're treating them like humans, we're paying them like humans, we're not exploiting them as far as upcharging them on commissary goods. They're not slaves, they're humans, and they should be paid a fair wage.
McKinney said he thinks the state should be doing more to prepare those incarcerated for success when they return to society.
It's not to say that I have all the solutions or what I'm proposing is the solution, but we all have to be willing to listen to try to change some things, because there's nobody in this state or in this country that could say the criminal justice system in the state of Nebraska is running effectively.
The bill would also prohibit the construction or expansion of prisons until the legislature can determine that the amount of people admitted and staying at Nebraska prisons has declined over a 20-year period. Senator Robert Clements says this would be too restrictive and prevents Nebraska from building the prisons needed to address overcrowding issues. He said the state penitentiary is in poor condition and needs more funding to be able to fix its issues.
We had a water main break there. There's 100 inmates that had to get transferred out, and it's going to take 2 years to fix. A new facility would be much more efficient, takes less manpower, more technology, and especially more space for programming for rehabilitation of inmates.
The bill would also allow the Judiciary Committee to provide oversight of the Department of Correctional Services during an overcrowding emergency. Clements says this is a separation of powers issue and would take over responsibilities of the governor. Last year, Senator Lathrop's justice reform bill was not passed after senators disagreed over rehabilitation and addressing overcrowding. Reporting in Lincoln, Matthew Mitleiter, Channel 8 News.
Senator McKinney says he has a number of other bills to address the prison system, sentencing, and parole, which he plans to introduce this session. The other hot-button issue at today's legislative session is a motive to approve committee assignments.
That's right. Channel 8's Jatine Tinsley joins us now with more on that. Jatine.
A lot of back and forth today on the floor as senators could not come to an agreement on the motion to approve Senate committees that will detail which senators will control which committee. Arguments were made on both sides, with some senators ready to move forward with approving committees so the legislature can begin working towards the approval of bills. Senators voted twice to cease debating the issue, but it was ultimately brought back up again. Senator Megan Hunt from Omaha argued that the Senate majority acted in their own interests.
If you are on a committee that you wanted, if you are currently sitting on a committee that you had been on before, if you're on a committee that you had the seniority to stay on or to join, that's not because the system was working. It's because the people in the majority who were in that room putting the matrix together of who's going to go on committees, it's because it worked for them, not because it worked for you.
The battle continued, with other senators saying that the motion to approve committees was done according to various rules that include incumbent status, experience, and seniority. As of 2 o'clock, there was no conclusion on whether or not Senate committees would be approved. I was told that senators will continue to work toward an agreement, even if they have to stay past 5 this evening to approve committees. Join us back here at 6 to find out how approving Senate committees could stall the legislative process.
All right, Jatine, thank you for the update on that. From Lincoln to our nation's capital this afternoon, the 118th Congress gavelled into session, and the first order of business for the House agreeing on the rules that will govern the body over the next 2 years.
It comes after an historic speaker election, Kevin McCarthy ultimately prevailing on the 15th ballot. ABC's Alex Perche has the latest from Washington.
This afternoon, the 118th Congress preparing to gavel back in session after a historic and at times raucous election for House Speaker. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy finally being elevated to Speaker this weekend, but it took 15 rounds of ballots in the bitterly divided GOP caucus, the longest election since 1859.
My father always told me, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
McCarthy steadfast despite multiple public defeats.
A speaker has not been elected. A speaker has not been elected.
On the 14th ballot, McCarthy fell 1 vote short. Tempers clearly on edge. McCarthy confronted one of the Republican holdouts, Matt Gaetz. Then fellow Republican Mike Rogers of Alabama needed to be physically restrained from going after Gaetz. Even Donald Trump working to end the standoff. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene seen trying to pass her phone to a McCarthy opponent, DT, Trump's initials, seen on the caller ID. After half an hour, they struck a deal, but McCarthy had to make deep concessions, including allowing a single lawmaker to force a vote to remove the Speaker of the House. Now McCarthy faces his next challenge, keeping everyone in his caucus on the same page as they try to govern, even those that didn't want him as Speaker.
They can only lose 4 Republican votes on any given issue. That means you've got to keep the moderates on board. You have to keep the rabble-rousers aboard, the people that never wanted them to be there.
Any given day is going to be a little bit different, probably much like Democrats dealt with over the last 4 years with narrow majorities.
But one of the points of focus for House Republicans is a new panel with sweeping authority to investigate ongoing criminal investigations, something that could spark a new fight with the Justice Department over ongoing probes, including those into former President Trump. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
To Health News now, there's a push to lower insulin drug prices in the state, capping the price at $100 a month for those with private insurance.
The bill, introduced by Senator Tom Breezy of Albion, would start in January of next year. There's already a $35 cap on prices for those with Medicare, and some are hopeful this will increase access of the drug.
An insulin cap could be quite significant for individuals. You know, they're trying it with the Medicare individuals now. But for the 21 million people that are under the Medicare age, they're frankly and unfortunately just out of luck.
Many who can't afford their full insulin prescription often ration their supply, which can lead to severe complications. Though that's some good news for the insulin-dependent community.
Research says the number of children diagnosed with type 2 diabetes could rise by 700%. A new study shows this sharp increase over the next 30 years and is likely caused by spiking childhood obesity numbers. While kids are normally diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, a condition where the body does not produce any insulin, type 2 is often caused by obesity and other socioeconomic factors.
It's really important that families lead by example, right? So healthy eating and exercise by all family members can certainly have kids believing, you know, in the right path and being able to make the right choices when it comes to not developing type 2 diabetes.
Local experts say the rise of type 2 diabetes in children could mean more kids will end up being diagnosed with type 2 than type 1.
All right, let's check with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins and see how the evening forecast is going. I looked out today. It was nice, bright sun out there.
Yeah, gorgeous January day. Don't get too many of these, but it looks like we're going to get at least one more as we head through the rest of the week. It is going to cool off, though, as we head towards the second half of the work week. Here's what it looks like as you go through the weather headlines. Mild Tuesday. We'll see temperatures very similar to what we had today. Precipitation chances start to move in on Wednesday. Looks like it could be a rain, maybe a snow mix, especially to the south, and then cooler as we head through Thursday and into Friday. But if you're bummed about that, don't worry. We've got warmer temperatures by the weekend. Satellite radar wall-to-wall sunshine for a good portion of the state. Just a few clouds in the southwestern corner. If you're looking outside in Beatrice right now, you're looking at a pretty good looking sunset. This is Shones Roofing at South 6th and Perkins, and it's a really nice evening out there. Very mild. Temperatures are still in the upper 40s. We should be in the lower and, well, actually the middle 30s this time of year. So 47 degrees in Beatrice, way above average. And most of us in the southeastern and south central part of the state are warmer than we're supposed to be. It is cooler, though, off to the north and west where temperatures are in the 30s. We do have just a little bit of a wind, generally out of the west at 5 to 10, maybe 15 miles per hour. Hour by hour, we'll see those temperatures drop into the 20s by early tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon will once again top out in the lower 50s. So one more mild day, but temperatures are going to take a little bit of a hit. We'll get get closer to normal as we head towards the second half of the week. More on that in a few.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Talk to you later. Lincoln firefighters are preparing for one of the worst scenarios possible each winter.
Here's some photos they shared of their latest training mission. LFR is making sure everyone knows what to do if you fall through the ice. If you find yourself in this situation, experts say it's critical to conserve your energy. Stay as still as possible while waiting for help to arrive.
The York Fire Department responded to a record number of calls last year. It saw a 14% increase in service calls at just over 1,600. A little over 1,000 of those required a response from volunteers, and that's a 66% increase over a year. Officials say 3,200 hours of training and education prepared them for the increase. All right, a heads up now for drivers going through Hickman.
South 68th Street at Prairie View Lane is closed for construction of a box culvert for a future pedestrian undercrossing. Access to local businesses will be maintained, but drivers should use the marked detours.
Now, construction is expected to last for about 60 days. This comes after Hickman recently opened the new roundabout at the intersection of 68th and Hickman Road. Coming up on the news here at 5, the final two standing. The college football championship is tonight, and one quarterback has ties to the area.
Yeah, hear from Max Duggins, high school football coach, and a sports bar hosting a watch party for the big game. We'll have that story after the break. A new American Job Center location is expected to open in Lincoln.
That's right. It's set to open this Wednesday at 13th and N Streets. It's being moved from 11th and O. The goal is to help people in finding and preparing for a new job. For more information about the new Job Center, there's the website right there that you can go to learn more information. Fans of the I-80 Speedway near Greenwood can buy a part of the historic racetrack in an auction.
That's right. It began today and closes on January 16th. The longtime owner sold the land, saying it's time to move on to new projects. The track had been in operation since 1994 and featured weekly races and events. Some of the items up for sale: bleachers, scoreboards, lights, and other equipment. John Deere is giving farmers the long-sought right to repair agricultural equipment on their own.
The agreement, signed Sunday, follows years of lawsuits and complaints. It means farmers can diagnose and fix their John Deere tractors without using company parts or having to go to their facilities. Officials say the agreement also protects John Deere's intellectual property. The College Football National Championship game is tonight on ESPN, and Council Bluffs native Max Duggan is leading the TCU football team, and the community of Council Bluffs, they are rallying behind him.
Tonight, we hear from his high school football coach about his impact on the next generation.
Known for being a leader and a team player, representing Council Bluffs well.
I'm excited for him, and I know he'll do everything that he's done and has displayed this year, from his leadership to his play. I'm going to rally the team around him and do everything possible to be successful.
Justin Camerad, head football coach at Lewis Central, started working with Max Duggan in middle school.
There's just something obviously different about him, just his approach, his mannerisms, his competitiveness, that, he wanted to be the best even at a young age.
Duggan's influence is already instilled in the Lewis Central football program for the next generation.
The belief system in those kids, that if they're willing to buy in and do what we've always done here at Lewis Central, that they're going to have that opportunity, and there's a belief in the coaches that we're going to prepare them.
6 Lewis Central grads, including Duggan, are playing Division I football this year. 4 played in a bowl game this past week. And now, Duggan will lead the TCU team to the championship title game.
I think everyone around here is going to be doing the same, rooting for him as much as we can.
And that is exactly what I heard from the community at one sports bar Sunday.
Super awesome for the community. There's been so many, everybody's a TCU fan now around here, so it's just cool how he's just kind of brought everybody together.
Not just him coming from Council Bluffs, but taking a team that isn't always on the main stage. It's awesome to see.
While many are rallying around him in Council Bluffs, Coach Camerad plans to be there in person.
I actually just booked my flight to Los Angeles, and so we'll be out there for the game.
And he's hoping for the best for Max and the TCU team.
And Glory Days Sports Bar and Grill is holding a watch party tonight for the big game. Again, the game is on ESPN at 6:30.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
So the sunset in Lincoln is at 5:17 exactly. How do I know? Because I'm looking at the clock right now and the sun is setting. Look at this gorgeous shot from Southeast Community College at 84th and O Street. Some of the best sunsets I've ever seen are from the capital city. Just a gorgeous one going on right now. And the sun sets later and later and later as we head towards spring. It's that time of year. This is sunrise and sunset. The days are starting to get longer now, finally. Temperatures are in the 40s, 49 at Southeast Community College, a couple of 48s at the airport and East Campus. We'll zoom out and show you that there are some colder temperatures just off to the north and west. Snowpack doing kind of a number on temperatures for parts of central and western Nebraska. And I'll zoom out just a little bit further. No snow from McCook, Grand Island, or at least just a little snow, to Omaha. No snow from Lincoln to Nebraska City and Hebron. Obviously still 50 in Hebron, but this area right here, pretty good chunk of snow, especially in the western part of the state where they got walloped a couple of different times. Now it's just quiet out there, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. So we'll zoom all the way out and show you that there is some snow in the Rocky Mountains and then on the other side towards Salt Lake. But for most of the upper Midwest, Central Plains, just about everywhere you look, pretty quiet as we head through the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, as we head through Tuesday morning, maybe a few clouds here and there, some patchy fog, a little bit of light sprinkles here and there. There's a spin of a little bit of a disturbance right there, snow to the north. Nothing really happening until we get towards Wednesday night. Now, this is Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. A few flurries, snow showers in the parts of the Panhandle, but we're going to see a chance down here for some light mixed precipitation. This is Wednesday, 6 p.m. Little rain along Interstate 70 just across the border in Kansas, maybe mixing with some snow on the western fringe there. This tries to get pushed up into our area by Wednesday night. That's 11 p.m. Southeast Nebraska might get some of this. A couple of different models have this pushing just a little bit further north towards I-80, so the chance is there that we could see a little light mixed precipitation late Wednesday. It's just not the best chance in the world. Doesn't look like a big deal either. West wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour tonight. Temperatures pretty close to the middle 20s, which we should be in the middle teens. So middle 20s, giving us a little bit of a break on our electric or gas bill, because I'm sure a lot of us need it after December. 26 degrees, a few clouds above average, west wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then another very mild day. We should be in the 30s. We're going to be, most of us, in the 50s. Notice how close the 30s are, though, with that any kind of snowpack, any kind of snow cover bounces the heat right off and keeps you cool. But when you don't have any snow on the ground, this is what happens in January. 51 degrees, partly cloudy. That average high is 35. South wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour. We do cool, well, that's a high number. 43 degrees on Wednesday. I've seen things like this happen and get posted to YouTube. If any of you guys do that, goodness. 34 degrees on Thursday, 36 on Friday, 551 degrees. So the end of the earth as we know it is going to happen on Tuesday, apparently. Temperatures will drop for a couple of days, but we warm right back up. 50 degrees on Saturday and Sunday, and then into the 40s as we head towards the beginning of next week. So just a mild 7-day forecast until we can get some snow on the ground where it sticks around for a while. Temperatures will continue to be fairly mild.
Mild except for us cooking tomorrow. So.
Well, you know, if we're cooking a turkey, that's just about it.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Rusty. A split day on Wall Street. The Dow falling 113 points. NASDAQ is up 66. S&P losing 3 points. Here are your numbers. We'll be right back.
This week.
Finally tonight, it's that time of the year when animals seek a warm and cozy spot to ride out the winter months.
And one family discovers that spot just happened to be a little too close for comfort. Jeremy Roth has tonight's Take a Look at This.
A Connecticut family made a wild discovery, and I do mean wild, when they found a burly, uninvited guest hibernating under their porch. Tyler Dashikevich says it was their dog acting jumpy that tipped them off.
She was acting a little bit nervous, so we just peeked down under the deck, and we're like, there's the bear there. We could not believe it.
Dashikevich says she's used to seeing bears, but not having them stay so long. She called local experts who advised her the visitor is likely a male black bear that, believe it or not, can just be left alone in its cozy quarters.
So we're just gonna leave him there until hibernation is over.
So just grin and bear it, eh? Well, hot dog, there's an idea. Speaking of hot dogs, Oscar Mayer fans, have we got the job for you. The company is currently recruiting the next class of drivers for its iconic Wienermobile. Hey, where do you find a job like that? On LinkedIn? Actually, the company has posted an online application for the gig, so those who relish this opportunity and can muster the courage better hurry and catch up with the competition. You know what, people? Hot dog puns aren't easy. In fact, they're just the worst, if I may be frank. Finally, completing this trifecta of stories that don't go together at all, take a rip-roaring rocket ride into space in no time flat. SpaceX shared this amazing time-compressed video on Twitter, squeezing an 8.5-minute orbital flight on their Falcon 9 rocket into roughly 90 seconds of out-of-this-world and back again high-flying action. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Wow, the
that
precision.
Is pretty cool. Yes.
All right, well, that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us.
World News with David Milroy is coming your way next, and we'll be back here with news, weather, and sports at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
Less driving, more winning. Warhorse Casino Lincoln is now open at Highway 77 and West Denton Road.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Synergy Home Care of Lincoln is now hiring. Create rewarding long-term relationships and find fulfillment in a career that goes far beyond any regular job. Work independently with flexible hours and a full benefits package. Apply today at Synergy Home